At some point in time, every single high ticket info product runs into a lead quality issue. So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to turn random bullshit data on a spreadsheet into a very clear and concise list of actionable steps that you can implement as the offer owner or creator, or you can give to your offer owner slash creator as the operator. But before we start off with just giving you the exact SOP that I follow in order to create that rich data, I'm going to test your marketing abilities with some challenging questions. Let's look at the financial model for my newest creator in my agency. We've been working together for about 20 days now. We've generated 9K in revenue, 8.5K cash collected. I believe that we are hitting a massive bottleneck right now within our business, right? I'm going to challenge you to look at this set of data and analyze and come to the conclusion of what that bottleneck actually is. If you are a half brain marketer, you would look at our show rate and you'd be like, holy fuck, that's fucking abysmal, right? But that's not the actual constraint of this business because this sales tracker is inaccurate. I'm already working with my team to get this fixed. Basically, there's a problem with attribution. Our show rate is actually at a 71%. If show rate is not the actual constraint of the business, then what the fuck is? I'll just skip to it. I've said it a couple of times. That's the purpose of this fucking video. We've booked 21 calls through these first 20 days, and only 6 of them have been qualified. Now, I will get more in depth about what I mean by qualified further along this video, but this is a big fucking problem with this fucking system. Now, before I start diving in on how to fix this, I need to show you the entire growth engine so you have more context on why I am making this conclusion. And the reason why I want to do this is because number one, I want to show off my level of expertise. There are a lot of growth operators that get on the internet and talk about random bullshit that they learn from whatever. I'm not one of them. This is shit I'm actually learning while in the fucking trenches. I've been a growth operator for around 7 months now. The purpose of this is not to sell you on some course or any bullshit. The purpose of these videos is to grow my network and put my name out there as a non-retard. That is my fucking goal. So I will go into discussing levels of depth. If you do not know what a growth engine is, a growth engine is essentially just the process that takes somebody from being completely unaware of your existence to giving you fucking money. That's all a growth engine is. Now, there are different types of growth engines, right? Specifically, there are controllable growth engines, which is paid ads, email marketing, blah, blah, blah. And there are uncontrollable growth engines, which is content. Specifically for this creator, we are currently only using an uncontrollable growth engine. The entirety of the throughput comes from his organic YouTube content, and this is exactly how it breaks down. So he posts YouTube videos. They all lead to a VSL. VSL leads to application. Application leads to a call book. Call book leads to a sales call. These orange boxes are potential drop-off points within the back-end funnel, right? So if an application gets started but it's not completed, a setter reaches out. If an application is filled but not booked, setter reaches out. If you're wondering how a setter can reach out to an incompleted application, we have a software that's able to track their data across multiple link clicks and collect that data privately. If a call booked and it's not shown, we have an automatic follow-up. If a call shows and it's not closed, we have automatic follow-up. For these yellow tests right here, we just have just a little bit more context on what happens between these two touch points in the process. So once a call is booked, we have a confirmation call that gets sent out by a setter. Purpose of this call is for framing, to qualify the lead, and to get a commitment to consume the assets. What assets are we talking about? We have the assets that are set out from the pre-call emails and text message, whose purpose is to properly frame the call into force consumption. So now we have a whole entire viewpoint and a better understanding of the growth engine we are currently using. Now I'm about to break down why I believe lead quality is the issue here. You see, The reason that most high ticket offer owners never fix their lead quality is because they don't even recognize that that's the problem. That's a problem to begin with. Because if we're looking at these numbers, right, a retard high ticket offer owner is just going to just say, get more leads in, right? But ask yourself this, right? If we add a zero at the end of these calls, and these are live calls, not calls booked, live calls, right? And I'll explain to why there's such a distinction between the two, right? So if we add a zero, so instead of 21 live calls, we have 210 live calls. That and everything else stays the same. So that means only 60 of those 210 live calls are going to be qualified. That's 29%. That means you are wasting 71% of your sales reps' time with people that do not even have the financial ability to make a purchase. Now, I will admit we are in a niche that is just going to be a little bit more unqualified. We are in the health and not health. We are in the spirituality manifestation space. But I do not believe that a 29% qualified call rate is acceptable. I do not believe that. I refuse to believe that's acceptable. We might not get up to 80, 90%, but I believe we can get up to 50, 60. I truly do, right? And I'm about to get to through the process of how we're going to fix this here in a second, but I have to drive this point home. It is so important to recognize the pinpoints in your fucking growth engine, or you're just going to be working in the on the wrong thing. And here's the reason, another reason why I say just adding more leads or adding more leads through the growth engine is the problem right now. It's because on the application, we have no friction on purpose because there's not enough throughput for friction to make sense, right? But if we just, let's say we just try to optimize for just more leads through the funnel. Number one, I already talked about, like, okay, if the rest of the numbers don't change, then it's like we're wasting a lot of time. And number two, since this is not a controllable growth engine, right, we are essentially going to have to solve multiple problems at once. The first problem is we're going to have to solve is, okay, how do we get more views on YouTube, right? Second problem we're going to have to solve is, like, okay, how do we add more friction within the funnel to not cause massive drop-offs that will make everything else irrelevant, right? So we can either solve those two problems at once, or we can just solve the problem of, okay, for the people that are actually watching, how do we get more quality people to book a call? So it's kind of like, do you want to solve two problems at once, or do you want to solve one problem? Okay, now let's get into the process of actually fixing lead quality. Now, 9 times out of 10, if you have a lead quality problem and you're attracting the wrong leads, the problem is your fucking messaging. It's your messaging, right? Wait, I gotta rewind. Right, excuse me, I'm a little bit lightheaded. It's 11:47 p.m. This is I'm really in the fucking trenches. Like, this is no joke. Look at me, my face is cooked. Right, I have to explain. Oh, another reason why I believe the bottleneck is lead quality. So obviously earlier I told you we qualify people over here on a confirmation call, but what's happening because of the price point of the offer and the type of leads that we're all getting, people are getting to the end of these calls, the financial with the desire to make a purchase, like they want to buy from us, the motivation to make a purchase, but quite literally being unable to because they don't have good credit. So they can't finance, they have no savings, and they make too little income. So they're living paycheck to paycheck. And these are not like deals where I'm like, oh, because when I say setting and closing, at the point in time where this business is at, I'm the one doing all the setting and closing. Like, when I say I'm in the trenches, I'm really in the fucking trenches, right? What's it called? But it's not like I'm just letting these leads off easy. I'm forcing these people to show me their bank account, and they have like $30 in there. That's what I mean. Like, okay, what the fuck? There's something wrong in the system. The wrong people are booking calls with us, right? Now we can go back onto the point I made before about, okay, typically when you're dealing with low call quality, it's a problem with your front end messaging, right? So instead of figuring out how to get more views through YouTube, right? Let me drive that point home, right? Again, it's fucking late at night. Been here for fucking, I don't know how long, 12 hours or something like that. I'm fucking fried, right? You have to think about it this way, right? If you have a substance and it's attracting a whole bunch of mosquitoes, having more of that substance isn't going to start magically attracting bees. If you want to attract bees, you have to get rid of the substance that's attracting mosquitoes and replace it with the substance that will attract bees. And then once you start attracting bees, you can just get more of that substance. And guess what? You will attract more bees. And the added benefit of that is you no longer have a mosquito problem. That's essentially what we want to do. Messaging is that substance. If with the wrong messaging, you're going to attract the wrong avatar. And then whatever the fuck you do in the back end is screwed. Because it doesn't matter how great your VSL is. It doesn't matter how great your fucking sales rep is. If people literally just do not have the financial ability to make a purchase, right? That's the type of non-qualified buyer that we're dealing with in this situation, then they're fucked. But another type of non-qualified buyer is if they just do not have the desire for your solution. Like you just, people are looking for help with the weight loss and you're trying to sell them a crypto scheme. Like, how do they even get up in your funnel? But that's not typically what most people deal with in the context of a lead quality, right? So enough rambling. We've been rambling for around 12 minutes. Let's get into it. Let's start walking you through the exact SOP that I've created in order to solve this motherfucking problem, right? So, of course, I make everything step by step because I understand that most of you guys don't like to fucking think. No, I'm just playing, right? So, the purpose of creating a feedback loop. Okay, that's the answer. Fuck. You can tell I'm fried. I skipped another step, right? The answer to fixing your messaging is to essentially create what I like to call a feedback loop between sales and marketing. And that's basically when you just take the data, right, from your most qualified prospects and your most unqualified prospects, and you feed that data back into your marketing. And I'm going to teach you how to do that. Should I edit this? I don't know. Maybe. I want to post every day. I'm about to be late on a post today because I'm going to have to post like 1 a.m. because it's 9 minutes from midnight, but fuck it. Right. So the purpose of creating a feedback loop between sales and marketing is to give marketing data on what the most qualified customers look like and what the least qualified customers look like. You want to do this so you can change your front end messaging in order to attract more qualified buyers and, more importantly, attract less qualified buyers. Right. Items you're going to need: call transcripts from unqualified sales calls, call transcripts from qualified sales calls, closed and unclosed, coaching call transcripts for qualified prospects, Chat GPT paid, Poppy AI paid. That's all you need. The first step is to create a prospect profile for qualified prospects and unqualified prospects. This is another reason why I'm doing this on YouTube, is because it allows me to audit my SOPs and really think about how simple is this to explain to anybody, right? Then clearly defining the difference between the two. The reason why that is important is because you have to know who is qualified and who is not, right? Because the way this works is that you're going to feed that data back into the front end. If you have improper data and you do not have a clear line between the two, then you're just giving your front end marketer or content creator or whatever you're using, copywriter if you're running email or ads, you're just giving them bad data, right? So you need to take the transcripts for your qualified prospect, put them into ChatGPT, and ask it the following 7 questions, one at a time. Make sure you're on the latest thinking model and the mode is set to extended thinking. The reason I phrase it like this is because I'm doing this in 2026. You might be watching this in 2029. So if we go into Chat GPT, the Loom thing has disappeared, but you guys should still be able to see this, right? These are some transcripts from some qualified prospects that I walk through the exact line of questioning that you see right here. Don't worry, I'll read each question to you like the little baby that you are. All right, so question 1, I need you to analyze several call transcripts and identify common themes and patterns among the prospects. Analyze the transcripts for every call in full, so call names. All right, so literally the name of each document, right? Consistent entities. So let's say you have a multiple sales calls, right? And you have sales reps that show up on each sales calls. You need to be able to tell. You need to tell Chat GPT like, hey, this person in this context is Lionel, right? Is a sales rep, right? Do not analyze this person. Or if it's a coaching call, this person is a coach, right? Do not analyze this person, right? So you have to are the same entity and the sales reps, while everyone else represents a prospect. Your task is to cross-analyze transcripts without providing any explanation or additional information. Simply focus on identifying recurring themes and patterns in your response. So you're gonna do that. Actually, I might just like sit here and stare for 5 seconds while you read through this, because I think that's going to be a drop off in retention if I just sit here and autistically read through every single one like I just did. So after going through the question, copy and paste the entire chat to a Google Doc and download it as a PDF. It should look something like this. Bada bing, bada boom. So this is all the data that you need for your qualified prospects. Bada bing, bada boom. Third step is that you do the same thing, but this time with the transcripts from your unqualified prospects to create a document for your unqualified prospects. Bada bing, bada boom. Now, fourth, take both PDFs you just generated and put them back into ChatGPT and ask it the following questions. I'm going to pause again for you to read. After this line of questioning, repeat the second step to produce a document like this. So basically, that third step is just cross-analyzing your qualified prospects and your unqualified prospects and then finding the key differences between the two. And that essentially completes phase one. You have all the documents you need to move on to step two or phase two, whatever you want to call it. You should have, like, I know I'm going through this pretty fast, but you should have like a pretty long threaded chat conversation with ChatGPT. Now we move on to step two or phase two, or however you want to call it. The second step is to take the information you just gathered and use it to create a pseudo LLM that helps you analyze audience data and compare it with your competitors' content in order to identify what attracts qualified versus unqualified prospects. First, you open Poppy AI, start a new dialogue, create a new group called Prospect Data, and put in all three of the PDFs you just created into the group. It should look something like this. Don't worry, we'll get to Poppy AI here in a second, right? I'm going to walk you through all of this first before I open it up and actually just show you it when it's completed, right? Poppy AI is pretty chill, it's pretty fire. Second, create another group that's titled competitor content and input 6 of your competitors' best performing content. It should look something like this. Bada bing, bada boom. Right. Third, create another group called our content and then put 3 of your best performing content pieces of content. The key difference is not to judge by best performing by views and instead judge it by link clicks, number of calls booked, revenue, and cash collected. It should look something like this. The reason why I put this is because your goal here as a high ticket offer owner or a high ticket operator is to not get views. It is to get fucking money, right? And what gets you views does not always get you money. And we have to draw that fine line. If you judge these videos that you're putting into Poppy by viewership, you're fucked. Because you're just gonna make videos. It's gonna give you ideas about what's gonna get you more views, right? You want it to give you ideas on what's going to bring you the most amount of money. How do you know which videos are bringing you the most amount of money and link clicks and all that? Proper tracking. We have a software that helps us out with that, right? If you look on the software, it's a cash collect is only 2,500. That's because we implemented this software after we collected our first what's it called 6K, right? But you can see the analytics for every single YouTube video that we fucking post, like for example, right? This is how fucking useful this shit is. This is why you gotta know your fucking data. Beforehand, we were averaging a 1% CTR, right? Then I told the creator to implement a motherfucking mid-roll CTA, and automatically the CTR clicked to lifted up to 1.15%, right? Then I told the creator to start working on his messaging and improve his messaging and change his thumbnail format, right? This is the only thumbnail that he's ever had that's like this. And I saw that that's something that's working through his niche. And then he had to increase CTR all the way to 1.57%. Right. But now there's a drop off in opt-in rate because now there's a misalignment between the messaging in the video and the backend messaging in the VSL. But that's just more nuanced information about the fucking growth engine. But what's important and the point I'm trying to drive home here is know your fucking numbers. Know your fucking numbers. Holy shit. Right. Back to the SOP. Right. Fourth, create an AI chat. Select the AI model to whichever model is best at reading creative data and connect all the groups at the time. It should look something like this. I put this caveat right here, best at reading creative data. It's because you might be watching this video in 2035 and you probably don't even fucking do this by yourself anymore. You just got an AI bot doing it. But maybe you're watching it in 2028 and whatever. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Fifth, insert this prompt into the AI chat. Answer all the questions asked you to the best of your abilities. Make sure to fill in the blank for this master prompt. You literally just copy and paste this, and you enter the information that you need. It's so fucking simple. I did all the work for you. I did all the fucking work for you, right? So basically, you're just telling the AI chat, and don't worry, I'm about to show you the AI chat, that you're attaching a couple of blocks to it. You're giving it some business information. You're giving it some information about your offer. You're giving it your funnel steps. You're giving it your primary objective. You're giving it your secondary objective. You're giving it what to optimize for. Then data blocks. Blah 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 blah. You get it. You can read through this. Right. I'll slow it down. Blah 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 blah. And then this second section is just an example completed prompt, right? This is the exact thing that I pasted into my AI chat. You can read that. So let's get into the chat, right? So if you're not familiar with Poppy AI, let me wait for this shit to fucking load because there we go. If you're not familiar with Poppy AI, it is an AI that allows you to just be a lot more visual with your AI prompting, right? So what you're able to do is you're able to create separate content blocks. And what's coolest about Poppy AI is that you can actually just plug in links to specific pieces of content, and it reads the transcript from that piece of content itself. So when I'm attaching all these pieces of content, what it's doing is actually reading all, not only the transcripts, but the video. It's watching the videos themselves. So Poppy is actively watching 9 videos, right? And then cross-referencing the data from these 9 videos and with the data from my prospect. And then now I'm able to connect it to a chatbot where I'm able to have it help me dial in my messaging. And we're able to gain some like hyper optimized insights on the messaging that's going to best work for our ideal avatar, and most importantly our most qualified avatar. Will I read all of this? Fuck no, I'm not reading all this shit. I've already read it 3 times by this point. You can fuck off. This isn't actually chat. The chat's right here. You can fuck off. I'm not reading this shit again, bro. You can pause it and read it. But yeah, the best part about this is that this is a live pseudo LLM. So if I want to go in here and ask questions like, okay, based, actually, let me change this back into Cloud Opus 4.6. Okay, literally ask it, okay, based on what you know, give me 10 video ideas optimized for attracting my highest quality avatar. Also, give me a general description of the messaging I should convey while making each. Bada bing, bada boom. You put it in there, you wait, and there you go. Now, of course, it's AI. It's not perfect. Like some of these titles can be adjusted, right, in order to avoid truncation. Like this could be how to stop self sabotage when things start working or something like that. But it is just more refined data. And that brings us to step 6. If you do this correctly, you should have a very clear document that not only outlines the differences between your most qualified prospects and unqualified prospect, but it also tells you exactly what you need to change and where in your front end messaging in order to attract more qualified prospects and repel unqualified prospects. A bonus is that you also have a pseudo LLM that you can talk to in order to gain more clarity on the messaging you should use on the front end. Last note, please do not only do this once. This should be something that you do quarterly or even bi-quarterly. That's very important in order to make your messaging align with their highest qualified audience. And that is essentially how you hyper optimize your front end messaging for your high ticket offer. But what if you're running a low ticket offer? Well, if you're running a low ticket offer, you can watch this video right here where I fixed a subscriber's low ticket offer to make him a fuck ton of more money. Thank you. Subscribe.